Today on Hodge Podge, we are joined with Ryan Stockstrom and Denise Anderson from Frazee as we talk about Becker County Energize. Welcome to Hodge Podge, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being on the show. Let's start with you, Ryan. You've been working with Becker County Energize, and you've been busy lately, haven't you?
Yeah, Becker County Energize is just a great organization as far as really seeing a bigger picture of the available resources that are in our area. And my goodness, we have some great organizations and great people behind them that are really working together for community health to just make this area a better place to live and see that needs are being met. So it's pretty awesome to be a part of that here locally in Frazee and see some of the differences we've been able to make.
Yeah, so what specifically, as far as some of those differences that you talk about, what are some of those differences you've been able to incorporate in Frazee?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first one I'd like to mention is something that we were able to do together as churches. And this last November and December, we actually came together and did a student meal debt pay down together as local churches here in Frazee. And I don't know if you know much about the student lunch debt problem in the nation, but it's a growing problem. And there are a lot of organizations that are trying to help meet that problem. And so we saw the need in Frazee, and we contacted the administration, and they were very open and honest. Frazee Public School actually has a very benevolent stance towards students who can't afford their lunch meal. They just go ahead and they feed them lunch, and there's no questions asked. Well, eventually that does add up. And of course, it needs to be paid somehow, some way. One way that the school tries to recoup that is through a robocall that they send around. But otherwise, sometimes that debt just accumulates and becomes bad debt for the school. And so we said, let's come together, let's do something about this. And so Harvest Church, the church that I pastor at, along with Bethlehem Lutheran Church, and we were able to talk to the leaders of the other churches as well, and they helped spread the word. We were able to come together. At the time we looked into the debt, it was around $11,000 worth of student lunch debt, which is a pretty good chunk of change for a small school district. And after Christmas, we got together in January with all the donations that came in for this. And together, through the area churches, we were able to give the school $12,658 to pay off the student lunch debt in Frazee. And so that was just an amazing thing to be able to do for community health. And some of those connections have definitely come through Becker County Energize, of just working together and talking about some of the problems that we can actually work together towards addressing as local churches. So that was a highlight for me this past year.
Yeah, and from a health standpoint in a city, healthy faith communities are a big part of a healthy community. So from a faith standpoint, how hard was it to get all the congregations together and do something like that for the community? Well,
to be honest, we haven't done a lot together as congregations, but this was something that I think that everyone saw the bigger picture, and they said, yes, we can work together in Jesus' name to help pay down this lunch debt. And so kind of once some of the word got out and excitement was there, people were very willing to get on board, and the leaders of the other churches in town were very positive towards it as well. So I think it was just a great way to rally together. And since then, we've been able to do more things together too. So it was a great way to kind of start things off that way.
Yeah, and especially in the climate today that we're dealing with, it's nice to have some positive news instead of the negative energy that we've been focusing on over the last couple of months, including COVID-19, George Floyd. Curious, as we continue this conversation with Ryan Stockstrom from Frazee, this is Hodge Podge, courtesy of Becker County Energy. I'm curious how you've been dealing as a congregation with the COVID-19 situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been interesting as far as it's been a continually changing scenario. I think that it seems like there's new information every day, and how do you deal with that effectively and still be able to hold worship or a variation of a worship service. And so I think it was the week or two after it kind of became big news, we said, we need to cancel our services. We need to willingly step away from in-building services so that our people are safe. And since there was so little known about COVID-19 at the time, we just decided to pull out of in-building services. Fortunately, we already had online services as a part of what we do. So we were able to interact well with our people that way and still hold a worship service, albeit alternative. And it was kind of cool as things progressed and more churches got online, and to see that the body of Christ was very much still alive and active in our world. And I even read that this past Easter was the largest attended Easter in all of human history.
Wow.
Now, we weren't in buildings, but we were together watching, interacting online. And so to me, that's a pretty amazing thing, because Jesus ultimately came from heaven to earth to be with the people. Well, the church hasn't always been so great about going to where the people are. And where are the people today? They're online, right? So it was cool to see churches from every denomination say, hey, we need to meet our people where they're at during this crisis. And so it was cool to see the church at large really become more effective with online services. And I think that'll just continue. We are back meeting in building right now, but there is about 30 to 40% of our congregation that is not ready to return. And, we hold no judgment, against that. They got to make that choice for themselves and stay safe and healthy. So that's one way, we definitely kept health in mind through this whole process. There is an aspect, though, of mental health and spiritual health in gathering together. So it's been great to be able to meet with those who are ready, give someone a hug, a handshake. Just that face-to-face encouragement is also vital. So we're happy to be able to be back in building for those who are ready for it.
Yeah, it'll be nice when we can finally give hugs and handshakes freely and not have to worry too much about it.
No kidding.
Ryan, appreciate your time today. If folks want to get in touch with you, if they're curious about maybe some of the churches in the Frazee area, or curious about how they can help out with some of the things that you're involved in, how would they do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website. It's harvestfrazee.org, or they can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/harvestfrazee, and we'd love for you to come check us out.
All right, coming up in just 60 seconds, we'll talk to Denise Anderson, the city administrator at Frazee, and Becker County Energize has had their fingers all over the city of Frazee recently. We'll chat with her next. This is KDLM, Detroit Lakes.
Envision yourself laid back on your front porch in your second home on the lake, entertaining your friends and family in your modern, spacious kitchen, or maybe just downsizing now that the kids are gone. Hi, this is Jenny with Harvest Homes. Let us make your vision a reality. Come shop your dream home from our large selection of Schultz manufactured and modular homes. Your dream awaits you.
When your money matters, call Harvest Home.
I-94 and 210 West, Fergus Falls.
Wherever you're going, we're going to the Auto Express.
Our buses are there for all ages. We have transported 3-year-olds. Our drivers are all fantastic.
We provide a lot of services to children. We're very careful with the children, make sure that they're safe and that they get to where they need to be and that there is somebody there waiting for them.
Wherever you're going, we're going to the Auto Express.
You're listening to Hodge Podge, courtesy of Becker County Energy on KDLM Detroit Lakes, 93.1 FM, 1340 AM, and online at kdlmradio.com. We're speaking now with Denise Anderson, the city administrator from Frazee. And you've been working with Becker County Energy for quite a while now, Denise, and you guys have been busy, and there's a lot going on in Frazee, isn't there?
There is indeed. I'm so fortunate to have the opportunity to work here in Frazee and to serve the residents. It's been a real exciting time for me. I didn't plan on staying long, but fortunately, we have so many irons in the fire, and there's so many things I want to see completed. I've committed to staying until we can get a few of these projects done. The first thing, Karen Pfeiffer is just an amazing young woman. She has more energy than I can possibly imagine having. And we have worked with her. She was on our EDA, and we've worked with her to start getting murals going and programs for young children. Last year they had a community garden. We found a space and furnished space for them up for their community garden. And anything we can do to possibly support that program, we are more than willing to. They've had an opportunity to use the event center for cooking classes and nutrition, so these young people can learn about different foods and the cooking and preparing, which I thought was pretty exciting. But I'd like to talk about something that's really near and dear to my heart that we've been working very hard on since I got here. When I first stepped into Frazee, I had a gentleman by the name of Patrick Hollister, and he's with Partnership for Health. And he said, Denise, you know about Complete Street Project 87. I don't think I was here a week. And I went, what? So what that entails is MnDOT will be coming through in 2022 and completely reconstructing our Lake Street, which runs from Highway 10 all the way through to the high school, to the bridge. Well, it's not a bridge right now, it's culverts. But in the meantime, I'd applied for 2 years for a federal grant so we could get a multi-use trail to go through Lake Street. So it goes through the whole downtown section from our turkey park all the way up to the high school. It'll be a 10-foot wide multi-use trail, which hopefully in 2022 will connect to the Heartland Trail. We're hoping to have the funds. Right now, the Heartland Trail is being completed from Acorn Lake into Detroit Lakes. And then we're looking for funding to complete by 2022 from Acorn Lake into Frazee. So the whole Heartland Trail will connect Detroit Lakes, Frazee, and they'll carry on from there. We're also looking at a piece of property just up by the school. It's on the river. Mr. Greg Ness is committed to holding that property until we can find acquisition funds, and it will be a 200-acre recreational park where people can use the Otter Tail Waterway, which is a recognized state waterway, the Northland Trail, hiking trail, which is a national trail, comes through that area, and then we'll have the Heartland Trail connecting there also. So it's just a really exciting time for the people of Frazee. We also, I want to congratulate Detroit Lakes on their bronze bike award that they just received. Frazee has had that award now for 5 years. Frazee has been a bronze bike award. The city and the residents have worked very hard to make sure that we have those type of activities, so it's safe for our young people and everyone to be able to bicycle around town and use an alternative transportation. So it's just so exciting here in Frazee right now. We have so many neat things going on, and we put together a skating rink. A couple of years ago, we had tore down some old buildings that had been condemned and they were blighted. We tore those buildings down, and so we had this big open spot in the middle of town. It's like, what the heck? So Fred Daggett said, you know, we should make that into a skating rink. So we did. We put a warming house up there, made it into a skating rink. We received donations from the Detroit Lakes Breakfast Rotary Club to sharpen our skates and put new laces on. So the warming house is there, the skates are there, the kids are, it's available for anyone to use. And that turned out to be just a big, huge meeting place for all these kids and something fun activity for them to do. And in the summertime last year, we started the pop-up shops. And that was kind of one of Karen Pfeiffer's ideas. And I thought, yes, great, let's run with it. So we got it going kind of late, but people would come in and do their little pop-up shop, be it crafts or homemade goods or baked goods, what have you. And that turned out to be a lot of fun too. And we were hoping to do that this year, but with COVID-19, I just don't know. I don't know what the rules and regulations are on that yet, so I'm still hoping we can do that. Unfortunately, our Turkey Days was canceled, so we're trying to look for other alternative fun ways for people to get out and about and have fun things to do here in the city.
Yeah, and you know, something I noticed, Denise, as you've been talking, exciting times certainly in the city of Frazee, but you know, one of the things I noticed is that you know, it was Fred Daggett who might have had an idea. It was Karen who had an idea, or was another resident in Frazee. How important is it to have those ideas coming from different community members? Because without those ideas, I'm thinking, you know, a lot of those things wouldn't have even come to fruition.
Correct. It's so important to have that community involvement. And if you have an idea, run it by us. You know, it's just so important to have that involvement with the community. to know what they want. We just completed a comprehensive plan, and we listened very carefully to the growth that the residents wanted. But in the meantime, if they have ideas for art projects or something they'd like to see done, someone came and said, it'd be really fun to have a Frisbee golf here in Frazee. So I took that and ran with it, and I approached the Frazee Lions, and they donated $750. And right now, up in our Turkey Park, we have the most scenic and beautiful Frisbee golf course. So it's when you come with these ideas, let's run with it. We also want to create a river walk from Hank Ledke Park up to Highway 87 on the east side of the river, which would be so much fun. And so we're kind of working on that. It's a little boggy, and we need to get permission from some of the landowners, but we're hoping to see that come too also.
Well, Denise, it sounds like you've got a lot going on. Appreciate your time today. If folks want to get in touch with you, what's the easiest way to do that?
Oh, you can go to the website and send me an email, or you can call the city office here at 218-334-4991. Or I have a pretty easy email to remember. It's denise.anderson@frazeecity.com. Or the door is always open here. Just walk into City Hall. We'd be happy to see you.
All right, very good. You've been listening to Hodge Podge, courtesy of Becker County Energize. We've been talking with Ryan Stockstrom and Denise Anderson, talking a little bit about Frazee today.